Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something. I've been talking to women for years, and if there's one question I get more than anything, it's this. Steve, what is it that men are really attracted to? And let me go on and make this clear. It ain't just about looks. That gets you in the room, sure, but it won't make him stay. What really gets a man, what truly grabs his attention and locks him in, is deeper than just physical. Ladies and gentlemen, let me break this down real clear. Confidence. I'm talking about real, unshakable confidence is one of the most powerful things a woman can have. And when I say confidence, I ain't talking about arrogance. And I sure ain't talking about being loud or boastful. Confidence is quiet. It's that calm energy that walks into a room and don't need no applause to feel validated. Confidence is when a woman doesn't shrink to fit in the corner. She stands tall without trying to make herself bigger than she is. It's when she knows what she brings to the table without having to announce the whole menu. See, men are drawn to confidence like bees to honey. Why? Because confidence tells a man everything he needs to know without her saying a word. It tells him, I'm good. I've done the work. I love myself. I know who I am. And I'm not out here begging for attention. I'm out here living. You ever seen a woman walk by and every man in the room turns his head? Not because of what she's wearing, but because of the energy she carries? That's confidence. That's power. Now let me be real with you. Confidence don't come from the makeup. It don't come from the outfit. And it definitely don't come from the number of likes on a picture. It comes from the inside. It comes from surviving some things, from healing, from waking up after a heartbreak and choosing to smile anyway. Confidence comes from looking yourself when nobody else seems to. From looking in the mirror and saying, I may not be perfect, but I am enough. That's the kind of woman a man don't forget. You know what men see when they meet a confident woman? They see a challenge. Not a competition, but a challenge to level up. A confident woman don't chase, she attracts. She don't beg, she allows. And that makes a man step his game up. Because the truth is, men love a woman who doesn't need them, but chooses to be with them anyway. That kind of woman, she don't settle. She don't lower her worth to keep nobody. And that makes a man think twice before he plays games. A man will change his whole behavior for a woman who carries herself with dignity. Confidence also makes you resilient, and men respect resilience. Life is going to throw you curveballs. Relationships will test you. People will disappoint you. But when a woman keeps her head high and handles her business, even in the storm, men see that and go, wow. She's built different. It ain't about having a perfect past. It's about having the strength to rise from it. That's what men admire. That's what makes them stay. Now let's talk about how confident women speak. They don't tear other people down to feel better about themselves. They don't compete. They compliment. They move with grace. They don't overshare. They let their presence speak volumes. They don't follow trends, they set them. They don't lose sleep wondering if a man likes them. They ask themselves if they like the man. That's confidence. And that energy is contagious. When you walk in your confidence, it changes the way people treat you. It shifts the room. It makes people listen closer when you talk because they know you're coming from a place of truth. And let me tell you something important. Confidence can't be faked for long. A man might be fooled for a minute, but he'll see through the act. Real confidence is when you know your worth and you're not afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't align with that, whether it's a job, a friend, or a relationship. When you're willing to lose what doesn't serve your value, that's when you win the most. So when I say men are attracted to confidence, I mean it's the one thing that makes them stop, pay attention, and say, that's different. That's not just a woman I want to be around. That's a woman I want to grow with. Because the truth is, a confident woman don't need to chase love. Love finds her. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something straight from the heart. There is nothing more powerful, nothing more captivating to a real man than a woman who stands on her own 2 feet. I'm talking about independence. Not the kind that's rude or arrogant. Not the kind that walks around saying, I don't need no man every 5 minutes. But the kind that quietly says, I got me. That kind of independence, it demands respect. It commands attention. It makes a man stop in his tracks and say, okay, she ain't just any woman. She's solid, all by herself. See, the world has tricked some people into thinking that being independent means you cold or unapproachable or difficult. That's not true. Real independence is grace, is power. It's when a woman knows how to pay her own bills, make her own moves, and handle her own problems, but still knows how to let a man add to her life without trying to define her life. That's the balance. A real man don't want to control a woman. He wants to walk beside one. And when he sees a woman handling her business, not waiting around for someone to save her, not playing helpless for attention, but actually building her own life brick by brick, it inspires him to rise up and match that energy. You ever see a woman who knows who she is, what she wants, and where she's going? A woman who ain't out here checking on where he is every 5 minutes, blowing up his phone, waiting for him to come make her whole. That woman is attractive beyond words. She's not desperate. She's not thirsty. She's not trying to fit into a mold. She's writing her own story. And when a man sees that, he knows she's valuable. He knows if he messes around and loses her, she's not going to collapse. She's going to keep rising. That's the kind of woman a man is afraid to lose. Because she's not just staying because she needs him. She's staying because she wants him. And there's a big difference between need and want. Let's get something clear. Independence don't mean you don't want love. It just means your happiness doesn't depend on someone else giving it to you. That's strength. That's emotional maturity, and that's rare. A woman who is secure within herself is not afraid to walk away from something that doesn't serve her. She's not sitting around waiting to be chosen. She chooses. She chooses who gets her time, her energy, her heart, and because of that, men approach her differently. They come with more respect, more intention, and more consistency because they know she won't tolerate anything less. Now look, I know it's hard sometimes. Society teaches women to be soft, to depend, to be rescued. But I'm here to tell you, rescue yourself. Be your own hero. When you do that, the man who comes into your life doesn't come to save you. He comes to partner with you. He sees you as his equal, not his project, not his property, his partner. That's the foundation for something real, something that lasts. When a woman builds her life around purpose, when she has goals and ambition and a schedule that doesn't revolve around somebody else, she becomes magnetic. She's too busy growing to be chasing, too busy building to be begging, and that energy makes a man think, I better get my act together. I better be worth her time. And that's what you want. You don't want a man who thinks he's doing you a favor by being with you. You want a man who knows it's a blessing to stand beside you. So when people try to make you feel like being independent is a threat to love, don't believe that. Real love respects independence. Real men celebrate it. They don't want a woman who leans on them so hard she can't stand alone. They want a woman who's already standing and chooses to lean with them when she wants to. That's powerful. That's beautiful. And that's what men are truly drawn to deep down in their soul. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me when I tell you this right here. If there's one thing about men you need to understand, it's that we are wired to pursue. We are built to chase, to earn, to discover. That's in our DNA. Now, I ain't saying you got to play games or be manipulative. No, I don't believe in all that. But what I am saying is this. A little mystery in a woman is powerful. It keeps a man intrigued, curious, and coming back for more. A woman who don't lay it all out there in the first conversation, who doesn't tell her whole life story in one sitting, who keeps some things sacred and just for her, that woman leaves a man wondering, thinking, wanting to know more. Men are drawn to the unknown. It's not about hiding who you are. It's about pacing how you reveal who you are. When a woman makes herself too available too soon, emotionally, mentally, or physically, it takes away the journey. And listen, we love a journey. We like to feel like we're unwrapping a gift, not picking up something that's already been laid out flat. A mysterious woman ain't cold, she's wise. She understands her value. She understands that not everyone deserves full access. So she don't rush. She don't over-explain. She lets things unfold naturally on her terms. And that's what keeps a man chasing. Not because she's playing hard to get, but because she is hard to get and worth the effort. Let me give y'all an example. You ever meet somebody who talks too much? Tells you everything about their ex, their trauma, their dreams, their struggles, all in one sitting? There's nothing left to discover. And when there's nothing left to discover, interest starts to fade. But when a woman shares just enough to spark curiosity, when she gives you insight without giving you everything, she leaves room for pursuit. She makes a man want to dig deeper, ask questions, show up again and again, not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire. And let's talk about behavior too. A mysterious woman moves differently. She doesn't post everything she's doing. She doesn't announce every move she's about to make. She's not broadcasting her business to the world. And because of that, people, including men, start paying attention. Where's she going? What's she up to? Who's in her circle? That quiet confidence speaks louder than 1,000 posts. And the right man sees that and knows this ain't someone who's easy to figure out. This is someone with depth, layers, stories I haven't even scratched the surface of yet. Now, don't get it twisted. Mystery isn't about being emotionally distant or closed off. It's about being intentional with your energy. It's about understanding that access to you is a privilege, not a right. And when a man senses that he has to earn that privilege, when he realizes not just anyone gets to know your heart, your time, your space, it activates something inside him. The chase, the curiosity, the drive to be the one who unlocks what others couldn't. And let me tell you something real important. The moment a man feels like he completely has you, like there's nothing left to learn, no new surprises, no more intrigue, that's when he stops trying. Not because he's a bad guy, but because the mystery is gone. And that's just how men are wired. But if you keep a sense of wonder in your life, if you stay evolving, growing, if you hold on to your standards and keep parts of yourself sacred, you stay interesting, you stay fresh, you stay worth chasing. A mysterious woman doesn't need to flash everything she's got. She walks in silence but speaks with presence. She knows who she is and doesn't rush to prove it. That energy right there, it draws the right kind of man, like a flame draws the moth. Not because she's hiding, because she's glowing, and only a few are worthy enough to get close. Ladies and gentlemen, let me keep it all the way real with y'all. When a woman learns how to master her emotions, she becomes one of the most powerful forces walking this earth. I'm telling you, emotional control is not just strength, it's pure attraction. And listen, I'm not saying don't feel. I'm not saying hide your emotions or pretend like stuff don't bother you. What I'm saying is learn how to carry your emotions with grace. Learn how to respond and not just react. Because when a woman has control over how she moves through her feelings, especially when those feelings are loud, deep, and real, that's when she separates herself from everybody else. See, here's what a lot of people don't understand. Men aren't scared of emotion. We know women feel deeply. That's one of the most beautiful things about y'all. But what intimidates a man, what makes him pull away, is when he sees a woman who lets her emotions run the whole show. A woman who lets every single mood take her up and down like a roller coaster. A woman who screams, cries, fights, shuts down, all before she even processes what's going on. That's chaos to a man. And let me tell you, men don't stay where there's chaos. But when a woman feels everything, pain, anger, disappointment, but still carries herself like a queen, that's magnetic. That's next level. A woman with emotional control ain't heartless. She just knows that not everything deserves a reaction. She knows that just because she's mad doesn't mean she has to burn everything down. Just because she's sad doesn't mean she stops functioning. Just because somebody disrespects her doesn't mean she lowers herself and throws her crown on the ground to meet them at their level. No, she pauses, she breathes, she evaluates, and then she decides how to move. That kind of self-control, that's a woman built for something big. Now let me talk to the ladies for a second. Y'all know what happens when a man sees a woman who can handle her emotions. He respects her. He listens to her differently. He learns that he can't shake her just by being inconsistent or distant. He realizes she's not going to beg, cry, or chase after him just because he's playing games. And that's when he stops playing. A man cannot manipulate a woman who's grounded in herself. He can't guilt trip her. He can't gaslight her. She don't fall for confusion because she's too clear within herself. That's power. That's what makes a man sit up straight and say, damn, I'd better come correct. And you want to know something else? Emotional control also means knowing when to walk away. Not with anger, not with drama, but with peace. A woman who can walk away from a disrespectful situation without creating a scene, just calmly deciding this isn't for me, that woman is unforgettable because she doesn't need to explode to make a point. Her silence says it all. Her calm exit speaks louder than any